What's going on, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elite02K. You can call me Daniel. Pretty much, we're going to be talking on today's video about the big fat orange elephant in the room with very large hands. President-elect number 47 and previous number 45, Donald J. Trump. There's been a lot of uproar about the percentage of the minority vote that he got, specifically with Hispanic Americans in this election. I'm pretty much going to walk you through what happened. To everyone's surprise, Trump managed to actually gather a majority of the Hispanic vote and Native Americans in the 2024 presidential election, with Hispanic men voting on average for Donald Trump with 60% in women between 30 and 40% based on the news sources. I couldn't find anybody consistent, but depending on their biases, so we'll say 35% to be fair. Why is this the case? How did it happen? And why are 65% of Native Americans, American Indians, supporting Donald J. Trump? Now, before we get started on this conversation, I must tell you I came up with a little metaphor, a little story, rather, to help explain the whole situation. But in order to do that, I must get into character, rather silly character, if you must. I do hate how stereotypically correct this makes me look. I might continue doing this in the future, I'm not sure, but allow me to tell you what exactly happened from, I guess we'll do the Hispanic perspective first. So, from the Hispanic perspective, imagine this. You made reservations for a 4 or 5-star restaurant, right? You wait years and years and years. The day and time finally shows up. You've been waiting all week for it. You didn't eat anything all day so you could enjoy it even more. You get to the restaurant, you walk in, you greet the waiter, he walks you to your table, you sit down at your booth. The booth is so comfy, the seat makes your ass feel so invited. You order your meal, and after a few minutes, you begin eating. A couple minutes goes by, and suddenly, and without warning, a bunch of people come and tell you to move over and sit at your table, uninvited. Then, you're confused, you're angry, you ask them why they're here, they don't answer you, they don't talk to you, they tell you to shut up, and then they start eating your food. Now, you're very angry, you're pissed off, you're steaming, so you call the waiter over, and he brings over the security guard. You tell the security guard what's going on. The security guard tells you that it's very difficult for the reservations to be made, and these people couldn't make them. It's also very expensive to eat at this restaurant, so you're going to have to allow these people to sit at your table and eat with you. Because, number one, they couldn't make the reservations. Number two, they couldn't afford the meal. You're foaming at the mouth, rabid, steaming, pissed off. If you didn't have any empathy, you'd be committing murder right now, right? So now you're calling the police officers, right? Call 911, get a police officer out here before I murder somebody. They send an officer out there. Police officer shows up. How can I help you, sir? Ma'am, whatever you are. You tell them the story. Cop looks at you. Pretty much tells you the same thing the security guard tells you before. Except this time, he says if you continue to keep getting upset, he's going to yank you out of the restaurant, and you're never going to be allowed in again. Now, in case you were too stupid to recognize where I'm going with this, the person who made the reservation is the legal migrant who did the right thing in coming here, made the reservation per se. paid his way to come here, pays taxes. The uninvited group who showed up at the table forced their way in and began eating the food that they did not pay for. Those are the illegal migrants. And the security guard is the local Democrat Party. The mayor, the House members, the senators. The security guard is the Democratic Party as a whole. So, this is why Hispanics abandoned the Democratic Party. Now I'm going to take all this gear off because I do look incredibly silly, and I'm profiling myself at this point. Native American people, for as much as the left bitches and moans about Columbus Day, Native Americans already had their land stolen once by rampant and unchecked immigration. They already had it stolen once. Now you want to let a bunch of people in here that they don't know. They just got over the fact that they just began to get to know us, and now you're inviting more people that they don't know into their land that we're kind of inhabiting in the first place wrongly too. Think about it like this. If a lot of those drugs that come through the border are ending up on the streets of Chicago, Detroit, New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and such, you don't think there's a mild possibility that they're coming through on the reservations? They might kill tribes people, young men, young women. They might corrupt those young tribes people too. Now, I'm part Native American. I'm on my mom's side. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a fucking... I literally just got out of a reservation or something, but I do know people who are Cherokee Indian. A lot of people that I know that are Native, like full-blooded Native, are Trump supporters. You cannot let people into the country unchecked. Now, to the people who did not vote for Trump, there's 3 points I want to make. I'm not going to be an asshole about it. I'm not going to be condescending about it. Point one, the media did lie to you. This man, they told you this man was Hitler incarnate, the Nazi leader of the Fourth Reich, a rapist, a pedophile, and all these things. There is zero evidence that the E. Jean Carroll trial had any contact with her other than the book that she wrote. There's zero proof. There's no camera footage. There's none. They literally scoped the building that it was supposedly happened in. Nothing. There was no soundproof eyewitnesses. And Trump had an alibi for the time that it supposedly happened. Her story is not bulletproof at all. January 6th was a riot, not really an insurrection. An insurrection has to be pre-planned. If you count pre-planned as like a half hour, sure. I think it was a riot. Nobody came with weapons. They tore down a bunch of barricades. Nobody really got hurt other than a couple bumps, bruises, and one Trump supporter got shot, Ashley Babbitt, by a police officer. Who was really responsible for that? Trump fueled the rhetoric, kind of. But at the end of the day, if your friends told you to jump off a bridge, would you? No. And if you're dumb or suicidal, and that's not your friend's fault. If there is one person to blame, it is the likes of the people like Nick Fuentes, And if you are somebody on the left or a liberal, you don't know who this is, your information sucks. He's the same fuckhead on Twitter right now commenting, your body, my choice forever, scaring women like the other cuck he is. No one on the right likes him besides his merry band of femboys. I don't know why he exists. Point two I want to make is Donald Trump is the unity candidate. He has brought a massive coalition of people together, from the likes of Byron Donalds, civil rights era Democrat Bobby Kennedy, former DNC co-chair and Hawaiian Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, liberal, conservative, left and right. And for anyone worried about the LGBTQ, the reason Trump won Pennsylvania was because of Scott Presler, a gay man. On that, all we're asking for is, if you want your own bathrooms, whatever, just, number one, if kids aren't allowed to smoke cigarettes, kids aren't allowed to drink, kids aren't allowed to vote, kids aren't allowed to be in the military, kids aren't allowed to make their own sex changes. It's that simple. They shouldn't be allowed to sterilize themselves. No. If you're 18, you should do whatever you want. It's not my responsibility, not my body, not my choice, whatever. Point three, so obviously we are no longer in the Bush and Cheney and Romney Republican Party. So what does the Donald Trump Republican Party stand for? Free speech, including stuff you disagree with, including stuff I disagree with. The freedom to own and defend yourself with any weapon you may legally possess, regardless of whether you are in your home or in public, against anyone who wishes to do you evil, no matter how you carry. A government that does not breathe down its citizens' back, and a government that doesn't only find itself talking to its citizens when it needs to have its hand in our pockets or get reelected. A government that can't barge in your home and kill your dog and hold you at gunpoint because your neighbor smells a little bit of weed. A government and society that holds everyone accountable equally and fairly, not based on the color of your skin or your gender or your financial background. Hell, even your religion. Most importantly, a country where no matter if you were born here or come here legally, you always have a ladder to climb upwards to success without someone kicking you off of that ladder. You can build a family, you can build a business, you can own land, you can be happy by yourself or with others. That choice is yours. This is the Republican Party of today. This is the Republican Party of unity, and this is why I voted for Donald Trump, and this is why I'm a Republican. So, thank you for watching. If you watched, like and subscribe. If you do so, I will donate to you my right testicle. You cannot have my left one. That one is my favorite. His name is Ernie.